What's up, everyone? It's Adar coming at you with another episode of Startup Engineering Daily. It's been a while. AI boom has been going crazy, but we're getting right back into it. So the first story of today, that Apple is now partnering with Google to power Siri with Gemini. Previously, it had been ChatGPT. They did an announcement, ChatGPT to power Siri, but for whatever reason, Gemini is now taking over. Elon obviously not too happy about it, but I'm sure he would have signed if XAI was given the opportunity. But we'll just have to see where this goes. Next story is just a quick fun one, is that there's this Chinese app called Are You Dead that has, I guess, been surging to the top of Apple's app rankings, and I guess it's 8 like won or yen, however you say it. And essentially what you do is that you have to check in every day, and if you don't check in for 2 days in a row, then it'll contact your emergency contacts to basically tell you you're dead. So one of those for like the ikikomoris or whatever they're called, the shut-ins, but pretty interesting. And with AI and all this stuff, you can just knock out these apps so quick. All that matters is really like the branding and the theming and the message and the problem solving. So something to keep an eye out on. I'm sure like won't hear more about this app in particular, but apps like it are like on the huge uptrend right now. This next story is quite interesting because it covers a topic that a lot of people have been talking about, which is whether or not these big model companies are quantizing or sampling or making the LLMs worse at peak times to serve more output, but with less compute costs. So this guy Burkov was essentially saying that it seems like Opus 4.5 under Claude Max wasn't doing as well, and I experienced this as well about a couple days ago or yesterday, where I was like, oh, in the morning it's not doing that well, And a lot of people say that they quantize, they make it smaller, they make it not as performant. But this guy Tariq, I think how you pronounce that, works at Claude Code, or works on Claude Code at Anthropic, and he has said multiple times that they do not nerf or touch the models in any way. So there should be some sampling, and they even say here we have evals in place to make sure that the performance is the same. And also, if we look at the community notes here, it seems that he's responded a few times saying that they don't sample, they don't quantize. So something to keep up with. See, this is even from July 15, 2025. Obviously, if this turned out to be false, that would be a huge lie and very exposing of Anthropic, but it does seem like they're saying that they never quantize or sample the models, and any performance should just be prompting or evolving code bases. So very interesting, something to keep an eye out on. Next is just this quick one. If you're doing internationalization on your product with translation and such, it seems that this company, General Translation, is really killing it. I know there was React INTL for a while. I never really did too much of it. Like, I work on one project that does have internationalization, but I don't manage any of it. But essentially, you can just turn on this provider, it seems, and it just gives you internationalization for everyone. So that's really interesting. Gonna have to try it out, but if you have international, feel free to check it out. And the company is General Translation. Next, just a super quick one too. That Nico Rosberg, I guess, has raised 100 million for his VC fund. Obviously, there will be more information coming out about this, but if you're in the like racing space or gaming or whatever they're looking for, here's an investor, new opportunity. And then the next story is that Ramp has been doing some really cool stuff. I guess they built their own agent called Inspect. I saw another tweet that was mentioning how they were asking their employees which one they were using. It was about like 10 responses were using Claude, about 3 or 5 for Cursor and OpenAI, and then about 90 of them were using Inspect internally. So really cool stuff what they're doing here. They also launched like an AI or a Claude Plays roller coaster tycoon. So that was interesting too. I didn't look too much into it. It had like a live stream, kind of like a AI or like Plays Pokemon type of thing, but for Claude playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. And then next we have this post from Zuckerberg saying that he's going to be building out data centers essentially to either compete with AWS and Google. Not sure exactly, but planning to build tens of gigawatts this decade and hundreds of gigawatts or more over time. OpenAI is doing about 10 gigawatts right now and looking at up to 200. So this would put Meta on about the same level as them. It will be interesting to see. I know that there's a lot of Daniel Gross haters. I'm not much of a Daniel Gross hater. I think he has a really great YC video about like taking care of your health. And the last piece too is that, and for the last story, just really quick, Anthropic has now dropped this new project called Claude Cowork, which is Claude code for non-technical people. And stories or doing marketing, all types of sales, all types of non-engineering work that goes into startups. This thing, definitely gonna send it over to my business partners and see what they think. And one more thing is that there was an Atlassian outage this morning, so there was a Jira outage. I haven't seen one of these ever, but it was a full outage. I guess it seems resolved now. There was also a Claude Opus outage where it was saying that the models were overloaded, and I just got an email that the Cursor Bugbot outage is in effect, so I'm not sure if there's anything upstream happening, but this kind of stuff interests you and you want to talk with some like-minded people, join the Audinato Discord in the description. Thanks.